Alright, how are we going? Today we're back out at Jimi's range. It's a beautiful sunny day, no wind, a little bit of breeze coming. I've got an idea in place today for something I want to talk about. It was a request about 6 months ago from one of the viewers that we never got around to dealing with. It's about teaching you or giving you some hints on shooting with both eyes open. Now, when I've started coaching people, most of the time I've come in and they've been in the sport for quite a long time and they're at a significant level, so they were already shooting with both eyes open. So it was something that I'd never thought about. What I have found when we've put stuff out there, the amount of feedback we've been getting on simple little things that I've taken for granted, I must admit, and it's made me realise that I need to go back through the whole technique and break everything down into components and deal with virtually with every aspect, because a lot of people that are experienced people, they've obviously got most of these techniques happen, but I'd like to think we've got some new people to the sport that are watching, and these are the people that I really want to try to help. And obviously if there's a spin-off to the more experienced guys, well that's just a bonus. We've got to look at every aspect of the technique and try to put a different spin on something that you guys might be doing. What I want to hear is if I put something out there on a particular way I do it or I coach, and you've got a little idea that's a bit different, I want to hear about it, because there's always something out there that changes an idea on a way you're doing a particular thing. An example of that was the other day when Jimi did the peep sight on his bow on his live stream. He had an idea. Oh, here we go, Greg's just turned up. I wonder what sort of a mood he's in today. Has he got internet yet? Hey Greg. Anyway, back to what I was saying with Jimi with the peep. Jimi had a way that he was just putting like a half hitch up and down the top and the bottom of the peep, which was a very simple thing, but I'd never even thought of it. It was brilliant really, because it secured the peep without question, and it eliminated the need to have the top and the bottom of the string, each top and bottom of the peep, tied up so tight, which is a way that I've always done it. As you've seen on one of the earlier videos, I actually take the pressure off the string so that I can tie that up tighter. Well, that way that Jimi did it, that was just so simple it was ridiculous. I never even thought of that. But what I actually utilise it for on my bow, I had a problem with a bit of furriness in my string under the peep, and where I shoot at my place, I get a lot of sunlight filtering through the trees. So what I was getting a flaring up of the fur on the string. Even though I'd wax it, it'd still come up. So what I did, I used that half hitch idea and just ran it down each side of the string under my peep, and it's eliminated the problem. So this is what I've always say, you need to listen to everybody and everybody's idea, because if you listen to 10 different ideas and you pick up 2 things out of it, well, that's a bonus. We've got to have an open mind in this sport, because there's always somebody that will have an idea that will help you regardless of what length of time they've been in the sport. Anyway, back to what the subject matter is today, the shooting with both eyes open. Now, to me, when I first started, it was a no-brainer. I've had an extensive firearm background, particularly with handguns. Both eyes open is the only way we do it, particularly because it gives you that peripheral vision. Now, the reason I believe that this is a must-do to shoot both eyes open is it gives you, first of all, it gives you balance. Your body relies on your vision to balance. So it gives you the balance for a start. It gives you your peripheral vision on this side, being a right-hand archer, onto this left side, which becomes a safety issue. If you shoot on a range that's maybe a public access area, well, if you're shooting, you've got both eyes open, you've got that extra peripheral vision for that safety factor. And also it gives you your depth perception on how far targets are with both eyes open, because your eyes rely, your brain relies on both eyes to actually estimate or get a good establish that distance that you're looking at. You can do a couple of tests yourself just to prove what I'm saying. If you're walking along, just keep walking and close one eye, and even though you know you're in balance, your brain, you just don't feel as like you are, feel as though you are in balance correctly. And it's the same with your depth perception. If you look at something, say 30 meters away, and you close one eye, it's very hard to confirm that distance, because both eyes rely on being open to estimate that distance. Morning, Greg.
I was just going to say, a lot of pirates fall overboard because of that.
Well, there's a relevance there somewhere, but I guess we'll... I guess... Okay, I can't argue with that.
Always bringing in the facts.
Now, this is one of those things, I've never actually spent time teaching somebody to do this, but I've got a few ideas and a few little tricks that I've used myself that help me maintain it, because as I've gotten older, my dominant eye has become a bit less dominant. So I've had to have a few little tricks. There was a little way that Catherine Jankovic, I mentioned Catherine in one of my other videos that I coached for quite a long time, she shot with both eyes open, albeit her less dominant eye was sort of at a half close or a bit of a squint. So the first thing you've got to do, obviously, to shoot with both eyes open is make sure you're shooting with your dominant eye. That goes without saying. Now, I'm not an optometrist, I don't have the qualifications to analyse and tell you correctly how you do that, but you all know enough to work out which is the eye you shoot with and which eye you don't shoot with. So the best way, I think, to first learn to get used to doing this, it's a bit of a process, because you've got to teach your brain to, like, whilst your dominant eye is dominant, the word goes without saying, you've got to teach your brain to continue to identify that eye. So what I would think the best thing to do would go through your normal shoot routine with one eye shut, your less dominant eye shut, if that's the way you're shooting now. Come back, sight yourself on your target, and then open your other eye and teach the brain to identify the correct dominant eye, the correct eye. What you find is it's going to take a while, it will be a process, but it's one of those things that's worth working with, because every now and then, just to prove the point, I will shut my less dominant eye and use my sighting eye, and it's like you've got tunnel vision, because you're only looking down your peep and down your scope, and it does throw your balance. You feel as though you're not losing balance, but you don't feel as stable as what you do with both eyes open. So that's the first thing I could advise you guys to do that are trying to get this in place, is to draw back with your eye closed as normal, then open it and try to concentrate. I don't like using the word concentrate, but try to focus on the fact that you're using your dominant eye to sight your target. It will take a little bit of time. Every now and then you might have to come back and just blink, close that less dominant eye to bring the dominant one back into play. Now, another little trick that Catherine used to do when she used to draw back, she didn't actually open her eye completely, she just had it at a bit of a squint. It still gave you that balance and that peripheral vision, but the brain was able to identify the dominant eye much easier, because the left eye was at a squint, so there was less vision coming through. Just try those little things. There's probably not much else I can add to that, but obviously the most important thing is that you are using your dominant eye. That goes without saying. So try that. Let me know how you go. Let me know if you have any other issues, or you guys if you shoot one eye closed and it works for you, I'm one of those people that'll say, okay, it works for you, do it. But give it a try, because I've got to tell you, it's the way to go.